confirmed with the authority of the University of Perpetual Health System Delta to migrate the Bachelor of Laws to the degree of Juris Doctor. University of Perpetual Health System Delta for the marks its first Juris Doctor Conferment ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, may we present to you the University Registrar carrying the base of the University of Perpetual Health System Delta, Mr. Jose Ricardo Alpino. Doctor of Civil Law. Conferies for the Juris Doctor degree are Perpetualite lawyers. Class of 1988. Class of 2000. Class of 2001. Class of 2010, Class of 2011, Class of 2012, Class of 2013, Class of 2014, Class of 2015, Class of 2016, Class of 2017, and Class of 2018. Let us all please welcome the members of the Faculty of Instruction of the College of Law. Attorney Ray Oliver S. Alejandrino. Attorney Adrian A. Armon. Prosecutor Jerilyn Jovet Vicarion. Attorney Juan Carlo P. de Guzman. Attorney Allen Liberato Espino. Justice George O. Orta II. RTC Judge Myra Bayot Yambao. Attorney Jodel F. Lamorto. Miolo, Administrative Assistant, and our school officials, Dr. Marjorie Gutierrez Tamo, Executive Vice President. The members of the Board of Dr. Jason Duran Tamayo, Vice Chairman of the Board, Chairman, Chief Executive Board, and Co-Founder of the University of Perpetualite. Dr. Anthony Jose Duran Tamayo, University President. The Honorable Justice Lener M. Dito, Associate Justice, Sandigan Bayan, and a member of the Faculty of Instruction of the University of Perpetualite College of Law. And the commissioners from the Legal Education Board, Commissioner Lorenzo R. Reyes, and Commissioner Walter G. San Pedro. Let us all please stand for the entrance of colors by the UPHSD ROTC Color Guards. The flag of the Republic of the Philippines and the colors of the University of Perpetual Health System, Malta, and the College of Law. The Philippine National Anthem. Allen A. Liberto Espino, class of 2009.
Let us all remain standing and put ourselves in the presence of God. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Almighty God, tonight we come together to praise your holy name. Witness the gratitude in our hearts for this institution that has helped build our character, for friends, some of whom are now our colleagues, and with whom we shared our law school journey of highs and lows many years ago. For our teachers who have sparked within us the drive to carry on. For our families, for whom we are working not only to be better, but also to leave the world a bit better. We give you thanks for all of these, for all that we are, and for all that we have become. Stay with us tonight, dear Lord, so that as we celebrate this milestone, we may look back and remember how we got here, who helped us along the way, and what we had to endure. Just for tonight, teach us to leave our titles and accolades by the door, so that we may relish this moment with humility. Fill us with your grace, so that we may acknowledge that simply being here is a cause for happiness. Dear Lord, you are the source of all knowledge and goodness. After tonight, may you continue to enrich our minds and soften our hearts, so that we may strive to become women and men for others. May we grow in strength so that we may continue carrying the cause of justice. May our discernment sharpen so that we may never falter between right and wrong. May we burn ever so brightly so that we may light the path for those who cannot see. This we ask through your mighty name. Amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Everyone, please be seated. To deliver the welcome address is the Dean of the College of Law, Dean Amado C. D. Mayuga, Doctor of Civil Law.
Dr. Daisy M. Tamayo, co-founder, vice chairman of the board and treasurer. Our beloved president, Dr. Anthony Jose M. Tamayo. Our executive vice president, Dr. Marjorie Tangob. Our guest of honor, the Honorable Justice Hinerquito, members of the Legal Education Board, Commissioner Lorenzo Reyes, Commissioner Voltaire San Pedro, my dear faculty, esteemed alumni, students, good evening, everyone. It is with immense pride and great joy that we welcome you to this momentous occasion as we gather to celebrate not only your remarkable achievements, but also the significant milestones of our esteemed institution. Today, we stand at the intersection of tradition and progress as we confer upon you the Juris Doctor degree, marking a new chapter in your legal journey and honoring the esteemed Bachelor of Laws you have previously earned. This year holds special significance as we commemorate the 30th anniversary of the College of Law, a testament to 3 decades of excellence in legal education, dedicated faculty, and the indomitable spirit of our students. Additionally, we celebrate the golden anniversary of the university, a beacon of knowledge and innovation that has shaped countless lives and communities over the last 5 decades. As alumni of the College of Law, you have risen to prominence in various sectors, showcasing your dedication to justice and the rule of law. Whether in private practice, within the halls of government, or as esteemed members of the judiciary, your contributions have not only elevated your professional fields, but have also enriched society as a whole. You stand as exemplary models of integrity, resilience, and leadership, and we are proud to call you part of our institutional family. As you embark on this new journey as Juris Doctors, we encourage you to continue to make impactful strides in the legal profession and beyond. Embrace the opportunities and challenges that lie ahead as you strengthen your advocacy for justice and serve as champions of the law. We are excited to witness the legacy you will continue to build as leaders in the legal community. Together, let us honor the past, celebrate the present, and look forward to a future filled with progress and dedication to the principles we hold dear. So congratulations on this deserving recognition and welcome back to the College of Law. Mabuhay ang mga Perpetualite lawyers.
Attorney Maria Janet M. Bacay Tolentino, class of 1998, will deliver the address of petition.
Good afternoon. To the members of the Board of Trustees and to our President, Dr. Antonio Jose M. Tamayo, this JD conferment is more than just a ceremonial change in title. It is an affirmation of the evolving landscape of the Philippine legal education. With the implementation of Legal Education Board Memorandum Order Number 19, Series of 2018, our legal system fully recognizes that the study and practice of law must continue to evolve to meet the demands of a dynamic and complex society. The transition from Bachelor of Laws, LLB, which we earned 30 years ago as a representative of the first batch of graduates of the College of Law of the University of Perpetual Health System, Dalta, Las Piñas in 1998, to Juris Doctor, JD, aligns the Philippine legal education with global standards, ensuring that UPHSD Las Piñas graduates remain competitive on the international stage. It was a struggle at first, considering that the College of Law of UPHSD Las Piñas was the first of its kind in the South, since all known law schools were located in Manila. But with the support of the Board of Trustees of the UPHSD Las Piñas, headed by the father of our current university president, Mr. Antonio Laperal Tamayo, together with the co-founder and vice chairman of the board and treasurer, Ms. Daisy M. Tamayo, the College of Law produced 249 graduates of the Bachelor of Laws. And on the day that we have become a lawyer, it is not the end of a journey, but indeed just the start of a lifelong journey of pursuing our dreams, our passions, and chasing the best version of ourselves that has the capacity to serve and desire to spark changes in the lives of others. We then carry ourselves under the name of our alma mater, the University of Perpetual Health System, Dalta, Las Piñas. Mr. President, as you bestow the conferment of Juris Doctor upon us, I, Attorney Majanet M. Bacay Tolentino, a representative of the first 4 graduates of the College of Law of UPHSD Las Piñas, batch 1998-1999, and which had achieved a 100 passing rate for the College of Law, am honored to represent my batch together with the other batches present today from Class 1998 to Class 2018 for the conferment of the Juris Doctor degree upon us. We will wear our JD degree as badges of honor as we become nation builders through character building, wherein our alma mater, the University of Perpetual Help System, Dalta Las Piñas, would be proud of. And before I end this petition, a significant part of this conferment was the role played by our alumni officers, headed by our alumni president, Attorney Veronica Villadolid of Class 2015, together with Dean Amado Paulo Di Mayuga, who initiated this event to ensure that her fellow graduates from Class 1998 to Class 2018 receive their well-earned recognition under the new nomenclature. Their efforts, together with the Board of Trustees, paved the way for this celebration, further strengthening the bond among UPHSD Las Piñas alumni and reinforcing the university's commitment to academic and professional excellence. In ending, let me borrow the saying that is posted in the high school department of the UPHSD Las Piñas under the then principal, Dr. Laura Lisi, which states, "We enter to learn, we depart to serve, and we return with honor." Good afternoon.
For the presentation of conferies for the Juris Doctor degree, may I please call on center stage the President of the University of Perpetual Help System Dalta, Dr. Anthony Jose Moran Tamayo. To present the conferies for the Juris Doctor degree is the Vice President, the Executive Vice President, Dr. Marjorie S. Gutierrez Tangog.
Good afternoon, everyone. Dr. Anthony Jose Moran Tamayo, President of the University of Perpetual Help System, Dalta. I have the honor to present to you the 316 Bachelor of Law graduates of Class 1998 to 2018. Please stand for those who are in the venue. And those who are virtually joining us, you may also stand if you wish. These 316 to be conferred upon for the Juris Doctor degree program. They have satisfactorily complied with the requirements set by the Legal Education Board, and upon the recommendation of the Dean and the faculty, may now be conferred their respective diplomas and certificates. Congratulations.
Parang reunion pala. Anyway, great to see you all. So, back to the program. By virtue of the powers vested in me by the Legal Education Board and by the Board of Directors of the University of Perpetual Help System Dalta, I, Anthony Jose M. Tamayo, President, confer upon you your respective titles and degrees and all appurtenances and privileges appertaining thereto. Congratulations.
Please be seated. To introduce our distinguished guest of honor, may we call on once again the Dean of the College of Law, Attorney Amado Paulo C. Di Mayuga, Doctor of Civil Law.
So, magandang gabi ulit sa inyong lahat. Anyway, Dr. Daisy M. Tamayo, co-founder, vice chair, and board of treasurer and treasurer. Dr. Anthony Jose M. Tamayo, our beloved president. Dr. Marjorie Tangog, our Executive Vice President, our guest of honor, Justice Hiner M. Guito, distinguished guests, faculty, esteemed alumni, my dear students, good evening. Today, we gather to celebrate a significant occasion in the lives of our alumni. And it is with great pleasure that I introduce our guest of honor, who is not only an esteemed member of the judiciary, currently serving as an Associate Justice of the Sandigan Bayan, but he is also a respected faculty member of our College of Law, imparting his wisdom and experience to the next generation of legal minds, and who happens to be a close friend of mine and classmate from our time together in the Graduate School of Law at the University of Santo Tomas. Our guest speaker is renowned for his commitment to justice and the rule of law. He gained national attention for his courageous decision to acquit former Senator Laila de Lima in her last drug case, showcasing his dedication to upholding the principles of fairness and due process. Prior to his appointment to the Sandigan Bayan, he served as regional trial court judge in Muntinlupa, where he was known for his thorough and judicious handling of cases. In addition to his impressive judicial career, our speaker is a distinguished scholar. He earned his Bachelor of Arts in Political Science from the University of Batangas and his Juris Doctor from San Sebastian College, Recoletos. He furthered his academic excellence by obtaining his Doctor of Civil Law from the University of Santo Tomas, graduating summa cum laude. And after spending a decade engaged in active litigation, his passion for law and education led him back to the classroom, further shaping his legal expertise. So as we listen to his inspirational message today, let us be reminded of the values he embodies: integrity, dedication, and a relentless pursuit of justice. So please join me in welcoming my close friend and esteemed colleague, Justice Hiner M. Guito, to the stage.
Please sit down. Thank you. Thank you for such a very heartwarming introduction. And I would always expect good words from a good friend of mine, Dean Di Mayuga. Dr. Anthony Jose M. Tamayo, the president of this university. Dr. Daisy Tamayo, the executive vice president. Dr. Marjorie S. Gutierrez Tangog, Attorney Dr. Amado D. Di Mayuga, and the proud accomplished graduates of UPH Delta College of Law who have just been conferred of the Juris Doctor degree. Friends, ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant afternoon to all of you. First of all, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to the administrators of the University of Perpetual Health, especially to Dr. Tamayo and Dr. Di Mayuga, for the distinct honor in inviting me to grace the JD Conferment ceremony for the College of Law graduates of this university. I was tasked, based on the program, to give an inspirational message to all our JD conferies. But truth to tell, most of you are already accomplished in your own field of endeavor as lawyers. Indeed, there are many familiar faces to me. Some of you were my students at this university and have since become successful practitioners. Some of you are judges, prosecutors, public attorneys, government lawyers, high-ranking government and corporate officials. Do we have politicians here? Probably some of you are politicians. Indeed, you have gone a long way. But it all started, like any one of us here, with a tiny seed of dream to become a lawyer. The path you traveled may have been arduous, but through perseverance and grit, you reached that goal. With that in mind, I ask myself, what else I could say to inspire you? But for those who are still in a crossroads of their professional life, may you permit me then to tell you a little narrative of my journey to become the 75th Associate Justice of Sandigan Bayan. 27 years ago, don't worry, it's short, no? 27 years ago, I still vividly recall while I was walking down the aisle to receive my Bachelor of Law degree, diploma, various thoughts were swirling disconcertingly through my mind. The primary question at that time was, would I make it to the bar? If academic grades are the measure for determining who will pass the most difficult licensure examination in the country, then there would likely be a consensus that I would fail. I must admit that my academic record in law school is not particularly impressive. This is likely due to the fact that I was a working student for almost the entirety of my law studies, as I am the eldest child in the family of 5 and a breadwinner. My former boss, Justice Romeo Callejo, the retired and the retired Justice of the Court of Appeals, and also in the Supreme Court, he spoke to me immediately after my graduation and assured me that he had no doubt that I would pass the bar examination. Those words of encouragement and faith in me motivated me to strive for it. And so I did. Indeed, you need only one person to believe in you to reach great heights. I was a member of the research staff of the late Justice Romeo Callejo during his tenure as Associate Justice of the Court of Appeals. During my 3rd year at the College of Law, he hired me as executive assistant in his office. All the former research staff who took the bar examination passed, and I was the last one to take it. After my graduation, he told me that I should not break the 100% record in his office. I expressed to Justice Callejo that I would not disappoint him. So I requested permission to take a leave of absence, which he easily granted. The issue was that my accumulated leave credits would only last for 3 months, meaning I would not receive my salary in the 4th month. So at the end of the 4th month of my leave, I visited the office of Justice Callejo, submitted my daily time record, indicating that I had worked for the entire month. He asked me, pumasok ka ba? Then sabi ko sa kanya, sir, hindi po. Why is it that your DTR is complete? Ang sabi ko sa kanya, kailangan ko po ng pang-review. Kung hindi po ako susweldo ng isang buwan, maapektuhan po ang review ko. Alam niyo ang sabi niya, okay, I will certify your falsification. My journey to becoming a lawyer and eventually as an Associate Justice of Sandigan Bayan was not a straightforward path. The avenue that I passed through was difficult. In 1992, madali lang po ito, 1992 na. I was one of the graduating students in a provincial college in Batangas. I have already forgotten the name of our commencement speaker at the graduation. But of all the things that he said, one resonates in my deep subconscious, serving as a constant reminder as I navigate my professional life. He said, you will become what you want to become. At the time, I had already wanted to become a lawyer, but realities of life confronted me then. How could my parents support my law studies? Since there was no law school in Batangas at that time, I had to relocate to Manila. You know, our family was not blessed with affluence, and I understand the financial strain it would bring if I pursued my studies in Manila. If my parents could hardly support my studies in Batangas, how much more would it be in Manila? When I was in college, my allowance was only 800 pesos for a month. This amount was allocated for my board and lodging as well as everyday expenses. 200 for board and lodging, 200 for board and lodging, and 600 for daily expenses for the month. You may ask, how was I able to make ends meet? The full meal at the time was 25 pesos. Napapaghalata pong edad no? 25 pesos. You would already have 1 cup of rice and a viand. Doon po sa school namin doon sa Batangas, libre po ang sabaw, salamat sa Diyos. No? I would buy 1 cup of rice, alam niyo po ang gagawin ko, hihingi lang po ako ng sabaw. Kung tinola po ang ulam, libre ang sabaw, makakahiling pa kayo ng papaya. So, 5 pesos, libre ang sabaw, with 5 pesos, katalo na. Okay na po ang lunch nyo. I must admit that there were times that I felt embarrassed to be seen eating without a viand. I had to consider measures to assuage my embarrassment. Alam niyo po ang ginagawa ko. Pag ang ulam ko'y tinola, tatabi po ako doon sa, meron po dong nakakain na merong buto doon. Oh, hindi ko naman po kinakain yung buto. Tatabilaan po ako doon para pag may nakakita sa akin, ang ulam nito tinola, ubos na nga lang yung manok. Okay. I became one of the writers for our school paper. I was informed that for every article we submitted and published, we would receive a modest honorarium. This small honorarium was a great relief, allowing me to sustain myself for a week or for a month. There were times when I had to walk several kilometers from my boarding house to school. To save money, I regularly walked from my boarding house to school. There were occasions, though not too frequent, when I boarded a jeepney, intentionally sitting near the back of the driver to collect the fare from the passenger and give it to the driver, making it appear that I was the one paying it. Is it estafa? I think it is. However, it happened more than 30 years ago, and the criminal law professors here would say that the crime was already prescribed. Given this reality, the prospect of pursuing career in law in Manila seems unthinkable. The challenge of undertaking my law studies became more evident when I discussed the idea with my parents. They expressed concern that financing my education would be too burdensome, especially since my 2 siblings were also in school. However, due to my persistence, my parents offered their reluctant approval despite the uncertainty about how they would be able to support my studies in Manila. But you know, God acts in mysterious way and in times of need. One of my cousins living in Manila was kind enough to offer me free lodging. Those who have experienced living with a relative understand the uncomfortable feeling. No? Sabi po ng tatay ko, nung siya daw ay nakikitira sa kapatid niya, sa tiya niya, kung siya ay nag-aaral pa. Lahat ginagawa niya. No? Naglilinis ng bahay, nagluluto, naglalaba. And those were the things that he told me. Sabi niya, pag nakikitira ka sa sa kamag-anak mo, lahat ng bagay na yon gagawin mo. And I did all those things. Although I was not required to do those things, I took them on as a duty because of what my father told me. That is what is expected from someone living with a relative for free. I was engaged in those activities during the day. Alam niyo po, may pamangkin ho ako doon. Bata pa po at that time, mga 6 years old. Ako pa ho ang nagpapakain doon. Naghahatid sa eskwelahan. Tapos ako pa rin ang naglalaban ng kanilang mga damit at that time. Natatapos ko yun mga 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock in the morning, and that is the time that I started studying and reading my law books. I was engaged in those activities during the day and studied law in the evening. I didn't have the luxury of time while I was studying law. As I mentioned, I had to finish all those household chores before I could study. Despite having limited time for study, I successfully completed my first 2 years in the College of Law. My younger sister was about to enter college while I was just beginning my third year in law. We had a small piggery in our backyard in Mindoro, which in some way helped support my studies and those of my siblings. However, pest infested it, leading to the death of all the hogs we were raising. There was a sense of hopelessness. I could not see any light at the end of the tunnel. I overheard my parents telling my younger sister that they could not afford to support her college education, that to pause her studies so that I could finish my law degree. I told my parents that would be a great injustice to my sister to sacrifice her dream for mine. I insisted that my sister should not stop attending college, and their responsibility for me had ended, as I would find a job to support my studies. Despite these hard realities, my resolve to become a lawyer never wavered. I was always driven by the thought that I will become what I want to become. I applied for a position as college instructor in Adamson University. That was my first job. I taught during the day and studied in the evening. However, the challenges were not easy. I was assigned 6 different subjects for an 18-unit load. Bago po tayo eh. Alam niyo naman, pag sa university, pag bagong professor ka, ikaw ang tampulan ng subject na walang kumukuha. So I was given 6 subjects, 6 different subjects. So that means 6 preparations. Therefore, I had to prepare 6 classes every week, not to mention, as we all know, that teaching is not financially rewarding. The demands of law school combined with the requirements of my teaching job had almost crippled me. There were times when I wanted to stop and search for a better job, putting my dream to become a lawyer on hold for a while. However, persistence is a virtue that is inherent in me. It was during my third year of law studies that I encountered the greatest challenge in my law studies. I was nearing the end of the second semester of my third year, preparing to transition into my fourth year. I became involved in a physical altercation on the campus, which resulted in my 2-month suspension. Following a series of investigation, the Board of Discipline of San Beda College of Law expelled me from the institution. I felt like a fish dished out of water, gasping for breath. At that moment, I realized my law studies would be delayed and I would not graduate on schedule. Furthermore, I needed to find a new school to transfer to. At that time, I did not know that there was Perpetual Health in Las Piñas. The pain of that incident was intensified by understanding that a year's delay meant another year of hopeless waiting for my parents. However, this incident did not lessen my resolve to become a lawyer. I quickly rose from the quagmire and sought admission to another law school. Fortunately, I was accepted into by San Sebastian College, Recoletos College of Law. Since the salary of an instructor at Adamson University could barely support my studies and my sisters, I decided to search for a better paying job and found one in the Court of Appeals. I was hired as executive assistant of Justice Callejo. The position I secured is typically offered to lawyers, yet it was given to me despite my status as law student. Studying law while also working to support myself is no easy feat. It requires a great deal of sacrifice, burning the midnight oil and shelving aside personal comfort. That was my life during law school. Every minute was essential and was not wasted. Every penny was spent wisely due to limited resources. Through perseverance and persistence, I became a lawyer and was able to help my parents provide an education for my 2 siblings. As I mentioned, my dear friends, I was not an extraordinary student. In fact, if my scholastic record in law school were revealed, it would likely and most likely prejudice me. As you may have experienced whenever we are applying for a job, what is the first document that is being required of us? Transcript of records. That document I never submit whenever I applied for a job, because I am pretty much sure that it would prejudice me. Thus, I would offer excuses to evade that requirement. Of course, during the interview, I would embellish my academic achievement, even if they were minimal. bordering on the line of misrepresentation. Nevertheless, once I began working, I became the person that I represented. A scholastic record is something that you cannot hide forever, but you can supplant it. For this reason, I pursued a graduate studies in law, culminating in a doctorate degree, and as previously mentioned by Dean Di Mayuga, with the highest Latin honors of summa cum laude. And since then, I gained the confidence to present my transcript of records. My entry into academe is no different. When I first applied for teaching position in UST and was offered the subject transportation law, the dean asked me if I had previously taught the subject. I informed the dean that I had been teaching that subject for more than 5 years. But the truth is that the last time I read the subject was in 1997 when I took the bar examination. Therefore, for almost 20 years, I haven't revisited the subject. However, in a span of several years, I became the person that I represented. Additionally, when a bar review center invited me to lecture on remedial law subjects, the owner asked me if I had taught remedial law in law schools. I told the owner that remedial law is my area of expertise. However, to be honest, I haven't studied the subject since Adam. But in time, I became the person that I represented. When I applied for the position, for judgeship position, you know, my wife is also teaching in this university, and he is currently the justice of the Court of Appeals. He became a judge ahead of me. And I used to tell this story because it's actually the truth. When I was applying for judgeship position in 2014, my wife then was already a judge. You know, some of my friends were actually asking me my reason why I applied for judgeship position. And I told them that there was only one reason. Since my wife was appointed as a judge and I had been a practitioner at the time, I had always been the repository of contempt order from my wife. Wala nang ginawa itong asawa ko, kundi i-contempt ako na i-contempt. Kaya po ang ginawa ko, 2014, with God's grace, when I received my appointment as RTC judge, I immediately handed it to my wife and told my wife, Mommy, you cannot contempt me anymore because we are court of equal jurisdiction. That was true until 2022, when my wife was promoted as Justice of the Court of Appeals and I was RTC judge. Sabi ko, patay na naman ako nito. Subject na naman ako sa kanyang contempt power. Hindi lang yun, certiorari in appellate jurisdiction pa. That was the reason why I applied for an appellate position in Sandigang Bayan. Alam niyo po itong Sandigang Bayan, for those who are unaware, ito yung court who actually try and decide high-ranking officials of the government. No? Sabi ko po sa aking asawa, you cannot contempt me again because we are court of equal jurisdiction, and I would like to remind you that you are occupying a position of SG 30, which is under the jurisdiction of Sandigang Bayan. Kaya medyo takot po ng konti ngayon sa aking asawa. So when I applied for judgeship position, I informed the Judicial and Bar Council that I would be a good judge and that I had prepared myself for the job. But at the time, it was not a misrepresentation. It was a commitment. However, as to whether I was able to fulfill my commitment, I am not the most competent assessor of my assessment, of my job. Okay? As my assessment would definitely be self-serving. But what I can tell you, my dear friends, is that in my 10 years as RTC judge, serving 3 judicial regions, 5 judicial stations, and 8 judicial branches, not a single administrative case was filed against me. During my 10-year stint as RTC judge, I was conferred the Chief Justice Arellano Cayetano Award for Judicial Excellence as the most outstanding judge of the Philippines in 2019. And in 2022, I was commended by the Supreme Court en banc as one of the top performing RTC judges in the National Capital Region in terms of case disposal. Salamat po. As a newly appointed Justice of Sandigang Bayan, while admittedly entering an unfamiliar territory, I would offer the same commitment as I did when I first entered the portals of judiciary, the commitment to become a good magistrate, deciding cases with facts and the law as the only consideration and incognizant of the personalities involved and impervious of the implication of these decisions both on my personal and professional life. My dear fellow members of legal profession, as you traverse the journey of your professional life, I would like to remind you that the profession you are in requires commitment and responsibility. It is the duty of lawyers to uphold the rule of law and justice at all times and under any circumstances. We hold a unique position of knowing what the law is. Therefore, we should be the first to obey it. It is disheartening to see lawyers engage in various anomalies that tarnishes their reputation. This behavior undermines the trust people place in us lawyers, who are expected to be advocates of order in our society. We must commit to ideals of ethics and integrity. Integrity is the quality of being honest and adhering firmly to moral and ethical principles. It involves a steadfast dedication to doing what is right and standing against what is wrong, regardless of the cost. I hope that as you navigate the world of legal profession, along with the financial benefits it provides, you hold a deep resolve in your hearts and minds to make a difference by steadfastly abiding by the principles of morals and ethics, which are the foundation of legal profession. Once again, thank you, and my warmest congratulations.
May we request the Honorable Justice Hener M. Guito to stay on center stage as we present our plaque of recognition. And may we likewise request Dr. Daisy Moran Tamayo and President Anthony Tamayo, together with our Executive Vice President and the Dean of the College of Law, to present our plaque of recognition to our distinguished guest of honor. May I read the text of the plaque? The University of Perpetual Help System Delta presents this plaque of appreciation to Justice Hener M. Guito, Associate Justice, Sandigan Bayan, in recognition and profound gratitude for his exceptional contribution as our esteemed guest speaker and for generously sharing his expertise, insights, and words of wisdom that immeasurably inspired our graduates during the Juris Doctor Conferment of the College of Law, University of Perpetual Help System Delta, Las Piñas Campus. Given this 5th day of April in the year of our Lord, 2025, at the Grand Ballroom, the Bellevue, Manila, Alabang, Muntinlupa City. Signed, Anthony Jose Moran Tamayo, President. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Justice Hener M. Guito, Associate Justice, Sandigan Bayan. We shall now proceed with the distribution of diplomas and awards. To distribute the diplomas and awards are the Vice Chairman of the Board and Treasurer and Co-Founder, Dr. Daisy Moran Tamayo, the University President, Dr. Anthony Jose Moran Tamayo, and to assist them are the Executive Vice President and the Dean of the College of Law. Class of 1998. Attorney Maria Janet M. Bakay. Ernesto C. Perez II. Class of 2000. Attorney Edith R. Castillo Napalan. Attorney Roxanne Marie A. Hamela Miranda. Class of 2001. Attorney Glenda A. Cerilo Lucena. Mr. Ross Joseph J. Romanillos. Honorable Maria Rodora J. Salazar Aruba, Proficiency Awardee, Senior Assistant City Prosecutor or Prosecutor 3 of Muntinlupa City. Class of 2002. Honorable Christy Ann Q. Cac Rivera, Proficiency Awardee, Presiding Judge, Municipal Trial Court in Cities, Branch 1, Lawag, Ilocos Norte. Honorable Melody L. Herbacio Restituto, Proficiency Awardee, Presiding Judge, Metropolitan Trial Court, Branch 113, Muntinlupa City. Honorable Ira May Montiliano Inerio, Proficiency Awardee, Senior Assistant City Prosecutor or Prosecutor 3, Las Piñas City. Attorney Donalita R. Lazo, Proficiency Awardee, State Solicitor 2, Office of the Solicitor General. Miss Natividad Ludwig I. Ople. Class of 2003. Mr. Albert Simpson Alday. Ms. Angela A. Aquino. Attorney Fe Desacola Fernandez. Attorney Emily Jane G. Ignacio. Miss Maria Cristina B. Ito. Attorney Emmanuel C. Ringpis Jr. Attorney Class of 2004. Attorney Maria Angelica M. Gamboa. Attorney Lawrence D. Macaraeg. Class of 2005. Mrs. Imelda P. Cirilo. Attorney Maria Patricia Katrina H. De Guia. Honorable Jose Pocholo R. Del Rosario, Proficiency Awardee, Presiding Judge, Regional Trial Court, Branch 2, Family Court, Daraga, Locsin, Albay. Honorable Maria Helen T. Dizon Surla, Proficiency Awardee, Assistant Regional Prosecutor, Pampanga. Attorney Gladys C. Fuliero, Court of Appeals. Attorney Karen D. Jacob. Honorable Maria Ludmila De Pio Lim, Proficiency Awardee, Presiding Judge, and recently promoted in Regional Trial Court, Branch 253, Las Piñas City. Attorney Erica Frances S. Buluran, Proficiency Awardee, State State Solicitor 2, Office of the Solicitor General. Attorney Paul Michael G. Sanggalang. Attorney Donna Mae B. Chongson Jordan. Miss Consuelo V. Tuban. Class of 2006, Mrs. Cristeta P. Glorioso. Attorney Karen B. Lim. Attorney Rina May L. Sayarot Elicano. Class of 2007, Attorney Angelica O. Malasa Manaog. Dr. Attorney Merlinda S. Sualibios. Class of 2008. Prosecutor Erwin Romel S. Angeles. Attorney Eric Francis G. Luna. Attorney Karen Ann E. Yambao. Class of 2009. Prosecutor Jean Violet A. Avina. Attorney Allen A. Liberato. Attorney Marian T. Payawal Angeles. Ms. Maribeth B. Reyes. Class of 2010, Attorney Maria Romina M. Dalagan. Mr. Enrique Hill A. Valencia IV. Class of 2011, Attorney Val Derek A. Ignacio. Mr. Romulus S. Protasio Jr. Class of 2012, Mrs. Pamela Rabin Ferrer. Mr. Danny Don M. Nolasco. Attorney Marty Osena Reyes. Class of 2013, Ms. Martha Quintanar Atanasio. Dr. Josephine Abellada Enoval. Ms. Rebecca Albano Estrella. Class of 2014, Attorney Mary Ann Lynette R. Manoy. Attorney Carrie Ann Shalene Carlil S. Reyes. Class of 2015, Attorney Emmanuel E. Karasakit. Attorney Rafael Enrique V. Coronado. Attorney Maricris V. Paderogao. Attorney Veronica G. Villadolid. Class of 2016, Attorney Emanueli Marie F. Asuncion. Attorney Juan Carlo E. de Guzman. Attorney Julius A. Dizon. Attorney Victor Roy G. Makalimkal. Attorney Alan Peter C. Marquez. Attorney Jonah Candy B. Roque. Class of 2017, Mrs. Rowena Prado Dineros. Attorney Mrs. Rowena Prado Dineros. Attorney Elaine D. Hilario Chu. Class of 2018, Attorney Dexter P. Barrion. Class of 2013, Mr. Philip Jose C. Zulia. Thank you very much, Dr. Anthony Jose Tumayo and Dean Di Mayuga. We'll have a little respite for a while. We will be presenting to you those who were not able to attend this afternoon's conferment. Here are some of the conferies. Attorney Veronica G. Villadolid will give the response on behalf of the conferees.
Our guest of honor, Justice Henergito, Dr. Daisy Morantamayo, Dr. Anthony Morantamayo, our Dean, Dr. Amado Di Mayuga, our Registrar, our Lab Commissioners, Lorenzo Reyes and Voltaire San Pedro, our professors, fellow Juris doctors, law students, family, friends, guests, ladies and gentlemen, a historical, sentimental, and phenomenal afternoon to all. This day is historical because it is the first and only Juris Doctor conferment in the history of the College of Law, gathering all together the graduates of 20 batches from 1998 to 2018. Our presence this afternoon is a testament, a living witness that the University of Perpetual Health System Delta has been successful in forming and molding graduates who are serving in various fields in our country. Just like what our guest of honor had mentioned, we have a deputy ombudsman. We have an LRA administrator, RTC judges, MEDC and MTCC judges, state solicitors, public prosecutors, public attorneys, provincial and city legal officers. We have a Catholic priest, parish priest lawyer, physician lawyers, legal practitioners in NBI, Bureau of Fire Protection, Transportation, Traffic Management, Real Estate, Bureau of Customs, Judicial Integrity Board, Human Settlements and Urban Development, Data Privacy, Entrepreneur, Gender Equality Specialist, banks, government, hospitals, private practitioners, and even one practicing abroad. Our presence here this afternoon is a tapestry of Perpetualite legal practitioners in different walks of life. A conclusive evidence that the vision of our school as catalyst of human development and the mission of our school of developing Filipino as a leader has come into a reality. Hence, we commend and thank the administration because the vision, mission of our school has been a reality as we have witnessed in this JD conferment. And let us give a round of applause to our school. 30 years of resounding success. This afternoon is likewise sentimental because we have been made special because of this event. Can you recall your graduation during your batch year? I recall in the year 2015, our graduation took 4 hours because we were together with the other graduates of the different colleges. But then, the time allotted for the College of Law is only for 15 to 20 minutes because we were 20 graduates then. But then, this is indeed a special and sentimental event for all of us. As we have gathered together, probably we have recalled our first day in class. As what our guest speaker had mentioned, we have our motivation and our own story to tell as to why we would like to become a lawyer. And I do believe that each has a beautiful story to tell. As we recall our sacrifices, the sleepless nights, how we have managed and unmanaged our time, especially for the working students, because 80% of the students in the College of Law are working students, just like our guest speaker this afternoon. We recall likewise the besmirched reputation in classes, especially during recitation days with our terror teachers, just like in the Tale of Two Cities. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. Our epic fail, embarrassing Sabon days in classes. But all those experiences made our journey in law school beautiful, colorful, and meaningful. As they say, no pain, no gain. Back then, we lived and laughed and loved and left. And now we go back, we laugh together with our fellow graduates, and we reminisce the times that we had in law school. And it is likewise sentimental because we have here with us our family, the significant ones, the committed persons in our lives who have been with us until we graduate and until we have achieved what we have become at present. So we thank you for all the significant persons in our lives who have been with us. Lastly, this afternoon is likewise phenomenal. We have just been conferred the Juris Doctor title as symbolized by our JD stole, colored purple and gold, a symbol of royalty, nobility, of class, and honor. The title Juris Doctor is not just an icing in the cake, but we tend to give more credit to this title when we have with us the motto of our school, character building is nation building. Because not all that glitter is gold. But what will make us glitter more as Juris Doctors will be our characters. Whatever position we have, may it be big or small, it will always be our character that will make us noble, royal, and with class. And we thank the school for this motto, character building is nation building. And lastly, as we have this title, Juris Doctor, it may mean that we are doctors, an instrument of healing, one that inspires. And whatever title we may have, it is hope that we may be able to fulfill our role to the best that we can and become the best version of ourselves. Not in comparison with our classmates, not in comparison with our batchmates, but in comparison with ourselves. As mentioned in the Desiderata, there will always be somebody who shall be greater and lesser than us. But we compare ourselves with ourselves as we have been better than yesterday. And this day is not a period, but a starting point for us to have a ripple effect. As alumni, we are also inviting everyone to give back to our alma mater, most especially when we help our law students. As we will be having our alumni legal aid clinic, we are inviting alumni to help our law students achieve their goals also as lawyers in the future. So take note of the ripple effect. And now, in whatever position that we have, we make a difference in the lives of others. In whatever offices that we may have, as we go back to our own places, as we move forward, let us remember this historical, sentimental, and phenomenal day that we have gathered together as we take into our hearts and minds and continue touching lives and as catalysts of change, the true essence of becoming a Juris Doctor. Thank you, and may God continue to bless us all.
And as alumni president of the College of Law, Attorney Veronica G. Villadolid will lead in the Pledge of Loyalty.
May I invite the Juris Doctors to stand? And we can browse in our program the Pledge of Loyalty. Let us raise our right hand and kindly repeat after me. As we leave the portals of our alma mater, we say we are indeed grateful to her for giving us light and wisdom to face the challenges of the next chapter of our life. In deep gratitude, we, conferies of the Juris Doctor degree, do hereby solemnly pledge to live up to the standards of our alma mater, be loyal to her traditions, strive to reach for her ideals, serve our country and people as helpers of God, and be faithful devotees of Mary, our Mother of Perpetual Help. It is when we strive to live up to our commitment that we shall deserve to be called true and worthy sons and daughters of our alma mater, the University of Perpetual Health System Delta. So help me God. Congratulations.
Please remain standing for the new lawyer's oath. To administer the new lawyer's oath is Commissioner Lorenzo Reyes from the Commission of Legal Education Board.
With the indulgence of Justice Jenner and President Tamayo and Ma'am, President, founder of the Perpetual Help Law School and the entire system of Perpetual Help, let me say a few words about your Juris Doctor. You'll be taking your oath as a lawyer that possesses a Juris Doctor degree, no longer a Bachelor of Laws degree. In fact, you're better off than our counterpart in the States. In the States, the Juris Doctor is only 3 years. They do 4 or 5 years, as the case may be. So, kindly raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear that I accept the honor, privilege, duty, and responsibility of practicing law in the Philippines as an officer of the court in the interest of our people. I declare fealty to the Constitution of the Republic of the Philippines, in so doing, I shall work towards promoting the rule of law in a regime of truth, justice, freedom, love, equality, and peace. I shall conscientiously and courageously work for justice, as well as safeguard the rights and meaningful freedoms of all persons, identities, and communities. I shall ensure greater and equitable access to justice. I shall do no falsehood, nor shall I pervert the law to unjustly favor or prejudice anyone. I shall faithfully discharge these duties and responsibilities to the best of my ability with integrity and utmost civility. I impose upon myself, without mental reservation, nor purposes of evasion. So help me God. Congratulations.
May I now request everyone to please rise and join in the singing of the Perpetual Help Hymn.
Your president is my co-alma mater from Harvard University.
Oh. The exit of colors by the UPHSD color officers. May we request everyone to please remain in their respective seats until our academic officials have left the hall. And that concludes our Juris Doctor Conferment exercises this afternoon. We hope that as the University of Perpetual Health System Delta was once your home during your formative years, it remains gratefully etched in your heart that the university will always be your home, where you are always welcome with such esteem. Congratulations! Mabuhay kayo, Perpetualites! And may I remind you that you have still part 2. I think that is an after-party event where you are to be. You still have an oath-taking and testimonial dinner after this.
attorney.
Yes.
You're the third part of our program. But before we start, we'd like to start our attendees, our Juris Doctor Conferies. So today, pwede na po tayo mula sa dalawa natin conversations. Siyempre, attorney, this day is a cause for celebration.
Of course.
Ang sarap kumain ng langit.
Yes,
So, no holds barred po tayo. We have two buffet stations sa kabilang side ng ating hall.
Yes, please line up accordingly. And in 2 minutes after them, from there, we're going to start with the program.
Yes. So, just to recap, second part of the program, we will start in a few minutes. We'll begin with this day.
Currently inducted.
Yes, agad ang starting ng attorney of the partnership in the alumni and
Correct. Excited for that. And then, let's just so that
Right. So, yung mga deal, Sir Victor, we're happy to be you tonight.